Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mike Armstrong podcast show. And this afternoon, I'm joined by Jamal Khan, who's from Churchill's Tax Advisors in London. And we're going to have a chat about business. We met networking probably a year or so ago now. How are you doing today, Jamal? You okay?
I'm very good, Mike. Thank you. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. Yes, I'm always very well at the moment. I enjoy the lockdown situation because I've been working from home for 9 years, and pretty much everyone else is now doing the same thing. So, well, saying that,
Yeah,
it's just started to open up again. But for the last 4 or 5 months, everyone's been doing the same thing.
excellent, excellent. Well, yeah, life, for us, life has been very different, but now you can see behind me, we actually opened our offices yesterday, so we've got a full house since yesterday.
Oh, there we are. Then congratulations. Yeah, well. Yeah, for you, you've probably been itching to get back to the office, obviously having the office and all the staff and that. But with myself, I work on my own and I work from home. And so, it hasn't really affected me. And in the lockdown situation, I know where people are. They're easy to get hold of, they're not out and about. They're not in commuter traffic or in the pub or in the restaurant. They're home and I can ring them and they're going to be in, or I can message them. But, my first question to my guests usually is, how has the lockdown been for you? And what have you done, if anything, to pivot during this time?
Well, the lockdown was initially very, very daunting when everything shut down and the shutters were down and everybody just went home, took their laptops. Luckily, we were IT ready, so it was a matter of my staff picking up their laptops, going home. My PA, we are an IP phone system, so we just forwarded the calls to her mobile phone. She downloaded an app in her phone and she was receiving the calls on her phone. Everybody had the same kind of telephone system. So we initially we were quite scared, but life continued as normal. The only thing we missed was not being able to interact with our staff. But then again, we've got this digital technology, so everybody's able to communicate via Zoom or Teams or Skype. So there wasn't a day where I wouldn't see all of my staff members on Zoom calls, on team calls. So it was initially daunting, but then we got used to it. Past couple of weeks, people wanted to come back. People were getting bored at home.
Yeah.
And I waited for some other people other businesses to open their offices first, and I saw that, and then I thought, okay, it's safe to do so. So we've opened up. We've learned a lot.
Yes, I was just going to ask you, what have you decided to keep, and what have you decided to ignore, if you like, from what you've learned in that time?
Well, what we've learned is I've been able to revise my business strategy significantly. We've gone from completely different types of digital marketing, and that has helped us grow. We've, unlike many other businesses, we've managed to recruit more staff. We've managed to recruit 2 directors and a senior manager in the last 3 months, whereas other people are laying off staff and putting them on furlough, but we haven't done that. We've recruited more and more people.
Yeah.
So lockdown has been a blessing for our business, essentially.
Yes, good. It has been for a lot of businesses. It's forced a lot of businesses to do those things they were thinking about doing, but necessarily didn't have the time, or maybe, I think this sort of tough situation, the tough get going. Yeah, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and the weak, yeah. So actually, the tough and the stronger people are willing to take risks that other people aren't doing, and that can pay off in dividends down the line.
We've streamlined our systems, our processes, how reliant we can be on the digital world. Everything is online. So we are in a position right now that everybody can just go home and start working from home.
Yeah.
And I think, and we will still be getting new business in. everybody's now used to holding meetings online with new clients or any client, which we never thought was possible before the lockdown.
Yeah, well, that's it. Before the lockdown, it wouldn't have been possible because the clients wouldn't have expected it. Whereas now, they're used to it. So therefore, the new norm has become, and I was saying early on in the lockdown, when this goes back to normal, it will never be a normal. It's going to be the new normal because so many people, to me, I've been embracing business owners for a long time with adapting to technology. And there were so many unwilling to do so because what they were doing was working, so why change it? But now they've been forced to adapt and to change. There's no going back.
Exactly. And I think the new norm, as you say, Mike, is going to be a lot of businesses not, for example, in London, the rents are very high. Will those people need to pay rent in central London or expensive London places? Do we need, right now, I am currently stuck in 4 leases. I cannot get out of those 4 leases because they've got term time left, but will I be renewing those 4 leases because we've got multiple offices and we've got multiple staff? So I know that some of my other colleagues and business associates, they've said they've given their notice for their lease. So we realise we don't need an office.
Yeah, well, I've been doing
it in a coffee shop.
Years. I've been working from home for up to 9 years, and I've gone in and out of offices a few times because opportunities have come my way, or good deals, or a chance to share with someone or whatever. But I felt I'm quite self-reliant, if you like, and I think some members of staff need that camaraderie and to bounce off people, or they need somebody to manage them. But actually, I think the vast majority will probably surprise themselves when they have to do it. They have to do it. And I think some sort of working structure going forward where people maybe are in the office a couple of days and at home a couple of days. And I think that's the way the society is going to shape itself going forward.
You see, an average rent for a company in London with some staff is about £15,000-20,000 a month, plus rate. So making about £25,000 a month. If you can cut down on that, that's a lot of money.
Well, it's big saving.
That's a lot of money we can save, and businesses can save. Now, the next dilemma is going to be for the landlords, commercial landlords. What are they going to do?
Yeah, well, there's probably going to be a lot of conversions into office flats, They started commercial buildings into residential in some city centres.
This is going to be the new dilemma. Today, I do a lot of real estate work as well. And today I heard some very, very big prominent buildings, commercial buildings in central London are coming for sale because they don't have tenants, or tenants are moving out. Yeah. So they will they will be looking to sell it now rather than 1 year later when everybody has gone into some kind of smaller offices or working from home patterns.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, the thing is people always wanted to have an office, even if it wasn't for the staff, but for the meetings, because it was prestigious and people always wanted to go somewhere nice for a meeting and stuff. But I think the meetings are going to be much more online now and much more, because people used to travel 2 hours for a meeting and 2 hours back. And myself, I've driven 4.5 hours up to Leeds, done a 2 hour meeting and done 4.5 hours back. It's 9 hours of travel for a 2 hour meeting. You just don't see that happening anymore. That's not going to happen, unless it's for a super big, shake hands on a contract, or do some training in person to at the time along with the contract. People are just so used to going online now that the days of traveling 9 hours for a 2 hour meeting, or 4 hours, 2 hours either way for a 2 hour meeting, I think those days are gone.
And same for international travel.
Yeah, a lot with international as well. Yeah, so I think the green movement, that was big. It was the big news before. It was Brexit, and then Brexit had gone a bit quiet, and then the green had gone in before the coronavirus. but actually, you know, we haven't heard too much about the green now. But I think, you know, the plane's being off the air for like 4 or 5 months, and the future of travel and business meetings and stuff changing now, probably the best thing that could have ever happened for the planet.
Well, there you go. There you go. There's always something good in everything bad that happens.
Yes, and I'm somebody who is I'm an optimistic person anyway, and I always look for that good. And if you look for good in something, it is always there.
So, correct.
Yeah. So, so tell us a little bit about your business, all the different areas of business you work in, and a little bit about your history as well, and what got you to where you are now.
Well, we mainly focus on tax advisory side of the accountancy business. Actually, I'm a chartered accountant, but I'm a chartered tax advisor. We have tax specialists, tax barristers, tax lawyers in our firm. So people come to us with a tax issue. They might have some wealth. They might have a couple of fees. They might be wealthy landlords, wealthy businessmen. They want to mitigate their capital gains tax, inheritance tax, income tax, corporate tax, VAT, stamp duty. So we get instructions almost 4 or 5 new instructions a day, because we are specialists in this area, and a lot of it, people come to us, or with people with tax investigations. So if somebody's being investigated by HMRC, the tax people, they would come to us and we will defend them. A lot of our staff is ex-HMRC senior tax inspectors. We're quite well known with offices across the country. The only place we haven't got an office is Cardiff, and I think we need to open an office in Cardiff as well. There's enough demand. Otherwise, we're most of the countries, most of the major cities. And we some people say that we're accountants, but we're not accountants. We're more on the tax advisory side. So some typical examples are people coming to us with 15, 20, they would, if they don't do anything, they pass away, they leave their estate behind, and the government will take 40% off it under inheritance tax. So we would get involved, and we would set up a tax planning structure where they would not need to pay that inheritance tax. Or if they want to transfer some properties to their children, etc., there's capital gains tax to pay, we would get involved, and we would set up a structure where there's no capital gains tax to be paid.
Yeah.
Similarly, some offshore companies having properties in the UK, or wealthy people wanting to move out of the UK, move into the UK, what they should do to mitigate their tax. And for a lay person, there's not much, but for an expert, there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah.
We get fined, for example, somebody might be receiving a windfall gain with like £5-10 million, or maybe smaller or larger amount, and they say, Jamal, I'm about to receive this money. What do I do? Is there anything I can do? Because otherwise I'm going to lose half of it to the taxman. So we would get involved and we would help them. A lot of our work comes from accountants and solicitors. Yeah. We get instructions from solicitors quite a lot, and we work with them on different legal matters, and we get involved in the tax advisory side. From background perspective, I used to work for a company called Deloitte for many years, and another company called Sony Corporation. Before I set up, I joined Churchill Tax, and I've been with Churchill Tax for about 10 years as a senior tax partner. I've helped many businesses, many individuals, a lot of people, I've got a lot of happy clients, starting from, say, normal owner-managed businesses to very large business owners, celebrities, some very wealthy celebrities, and we are quite well known.
Is Jimmy Carr on the books?
Jimmy Carr? No, I cannot give names, unfortunately. We are quite fortunate to have some very wealthy celebrities as our clients. And they come to us not because they come to us through good recommendation, and they would then go on and bring more people to us because they're happy with what they receive from us.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, so you worked for Deloitte for a while, and then the other company you said, and then moved into yourself. And are there plans for you to deal with any other divisions in the accountancy sort of sector, or is tax, the thing you're going to concentrate on?
Well, we do forensic accounts.
Yeah.
Simple on forensic work. So we get instructed by people who've been victims of fraud. We got instruction yesterday, somebody had been involved in an investment scam, or they had lost a lot of money. They instructed us to investigate the fraud. Usually then there'd be marital disputes where there's a divorce, and the wife, normally it's the wife, says that my husband is not telling the truth about his assets and income in the Form E that's been submitted to the court as part of the divorce settlement, the financial settlement. We get instructed on internal corporate fraud, partnership fraud, where one partner is suspecting the other partner of fraud. We get a lot of those. Yeah. That's a very interesting piece of work. So we have a forensic team, and they will go and get to the bottom of any kind of fraud. We look at accounts, where the money's going, where the money's coming from, linked people, asset tracing. So this is quite interesting. I've tried to stay away from the conventional accounting work. So what we do is very, very different kind of exciting work.
Yeah, it's more niche and therefore higher value.
It's a lot more niche, but the type of people that we deal with at times is very interesting, as opposed to, I mean, I trained as an accountant, I must say. I found it quite boring. What we're doing now is quite interesting work. With criminal work that we deal with, sometimes the people that come and approach us, they're very, very interesting people. Yeah. I can't say much on this YouTube channel, but when we meet and have a coffee, maybe I can say, wow, Jamal, you must have a very exciting life.
Yes, well, I think you are in the heart of things there, aren't you? There's a lot going on in the centre of London, and you will get all sorts of clients, from the location of where you are and that sort of thing, and the reputation, like you said. So, there's not so many people like that in the whole of Wales, because London.
No, in Wales. Well, Wales are all full of lots of very nice and very polite people. They don't like to take challenge. They don't like to take risks.
Yeah, there's much less risk takers in Wales. In general, all the risk takers of the UK, a lot of the top entrepreneurs, they do go to London, and I myself, I want to become a global speaker, so I'm planning on launching that in London in November, because if you want to do something, if you want to make something happen in the UK, you've got to go to London to do it, a lot of the time,
Well, this is the thing, you see. People from outside of London, they want to come into London, and people who are living in London, they want to go out of London.
Yeah, the people who live in London, who want to go out, just want to go out to somewhere with a bit more space and have a bit more, air.
More quiet and less busy.
Yeah, but they still want to do the business in London, though, most of the time.
Less crime. See, this is one of the things that we have in London, is crime
oh yeah, we have much less of that in Wales, I think. Much less as a nation, much less riots and protests and all that sort of stuff as well, which you get in London, which we don't get so much of down in Wales.
But, tell me about it, Mike. Yeah. Tom, there's a protest because our office in London is right in Holborn, and all the protests that happen go past our office.
Past. And there's a lot, isn't there? There's like a protest every day of the week in London.
There's a protest every day of the week. So we always look outside and we know there's another one today. Okay, there's another one. There you go. Everybody stay indoors. Lock the doors.
Fair enough. So, what was I going to say? There was a question I had on my mind, but yes, regarding the tax, is there anything specifically come out of the coronavirus or something that's giving you lots of inquiries at the moment? Is there anything tax related?
Well,
We're a bit too
there's
early.
a lot of things happening. First of all, in fact, I'm doing an interview with you now, and in the other room, my other colleagues are running a webinar, a live webinar on coronavirus and the tax investigations, HMR taxman inquiries. So people being investigated for the furlough, fraud.
Oh, is this for basically all the accounting and stuff? Because there's been people who've been probably making up staff members, and there's been people who've been lying about their amounts and which band they were in to get grants and all that sort of stuff. The fallout effect of the furlough schemes and all the other schemes.
So people have made a lot of fraudulent claims. They've taken loans on the BBLs. They've taken fake grants, made false applications for grants, fake applications. So there will be a lot of investigation work. People will be getting arrested. I think somebody got arrested last week for taking about 500,000 pounds in furlough claims.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was even approached by an anonymous person to say, "Oh, Mr. Khan, got your number from somebody. Got taken loans, and I want to sell my companies because I have no intention of paying it back." And I said, "Well, go away. Why are you calling me for?" So a lot of people. So people, I said, "I'm sorry, I'm really not interested in who you are and what you want to do. But whoever's given you my number, please never to give you my number again. Delete my number." So people thought it would be easy to get money from the government and just walk away from it, walk away with it. But
crazy people, insane people, like as if it's not going to come back and bite you on the backside at some point, like, you know.
Amazing thought process. People have taken money as if it's. I mean, yes, there is. I would blame the government as well. The government was giving out money as if it's just come and take it. It's lying here. Take your pile. So, but and that means a lot of criminally or people with not good intentions, should I say, they have taken a lot of money, and it's going to be a struggle for the government to take it back. But there will be a battle, and there will be a lot of collateral damage. From what I can see.
A lot of collateral damage, but some people, they turn into a green-eyed monster, don't they? You know, they see some pound signs in front of their eyes and they lose their marbles.
Yes. So what's going to happen as well? What is the government that's given out all these incentives to people? The government's got a black hole now, essentially a massive hole in the budget. So the government will need to get that money back somehow. So what will happen is the government will need to increase the taxes somehow. Yes, they're giving the stamp duty holiday that came a couple of months for the next 6 months. The VAT has gone down to 5% on restaurants. But somebody somewhere will need to pay for this, for all of this.
Yeah.
So I suspect the government's activity, not in the next immediate 6 months or something, is going to be high. But after 6 months, after 1 year, the government will be very, very hungry. And they'll be going after businesses, they'll be going after people.
I read something recently. Yeah, I read something recently that said, I think the pace of the slowdown or the effect of the economy was twice the speed during this lockdown than it was during the global credit crunch.
Yes.
So, and that pretty much took about 10 years for us to get over.
Well, yeah, I mean, depends if you know if you're in the right sector, then you can make some, you can become stronger. But I just feel for the people that have abused the system. And I think those people need to pay for what they've done.
Yeah, fair enough. And any plans for the future regarding yourself? Are you you said you got offices in a lot of operations around the UK. You got any plans to go further afield in the UK, or you just gonna keep consolidating your position in the UK?
Well, we are acquiring a lot of our competition. and there might come a position where we've spread enough in the UK and we need an offshore presence. Although I've received a couple of offers from companies in Cyprus and the UAE for us to have a branch there, because we could potentially bring us a lot of business. But we've been so busy in the UK, we haven't had the opportunity to outside. But maybe we do that. Maybe, let's see. Maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, you will see Churchill Tax with a couple of offices outside of the UK.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And how do people get in touch with you, Jamal, if they're interested in finding out a little bit more about you?
Well, first thing, they could go onto our website. It's churchilltaxadvisors.co.uk. It's churchill-tax-advisors.co.uk, or they could call me on 0207 998 1834, or they could email me on j.khan, KHAN, at churchill-tax-advisors.co.uk.
Okay, good. And
just look me up on LinkedIn, Jamal.
yeah, and outside of business, what does Jamal like to do, on the weekend or when he's got a bit of time off? What sort of things you into? What's your interest?
I have 2 boys, so 2 young boys. I love to spend time with them as much as I can, and I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of documentaries. I read a lot of books about business growth and business strategies and human psychology. So I'm a bit of a health freak. So I try different diets, healthy diets, and currently I'm trying a vegan diet.
What was that?
Yes, which is quite interesting. Learning about what you eat is very, very important.
Yes.
You know what you're eating and what happens when it goes past your mouth. What happens with the food? Is it good for your body? Is it bad for your body? So I'm doing a lot of research on that, and there's a lot of there's some good documentaries I've been watching about vegan diets, plant-based diets, which is quite an interesting one. I wasn't a vegan until about 5-6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I'm not even a vegan now, but a majority of my diet is vegan-based, plant-based. And apparently it's really good, and I have seen some changes in my life. So yeah, this is, I work out, spend time with my children, and watch interesting documentaries.
Yeah, do you do much, obviously you said you do a lot of business development, if you like business learning. Do you do much personal development as well? You into the personal development space?
Yeah, that's what I meant by when I read books and documentaries. I do a lot of personal development.
Yeah, you've read obviously Rich Dad Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich, I guess.
I read a book every week.
Yeah. She definitely covered them then.
That was one of the first books I read.
Yeah, I'm reading 10 pages a day at the moment because I'm doing a challenge called #75hard.
All right.
You've got to basically exercise twice a day for 45 minutes, one indoors, one outdoors. You've got to be on a diet, no alcohol. You've got to drink a gallon of water a day and read 10 pages from an educational book. Because I'm out exercising as well, I tend to do a lot of audio listening as well. So yeah, a good one I'm on at the moment, which isn't as popular as like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich, is The Magic of Thinking Big. That's quite a good one. David Schwartz. And obviously 10X I'm reading as well. They're both big thinking books.
All right, I'll add that to my list.
Yeah.
Write it down because I've read many books, but I haven't read that one. Magic of Thinking Big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm actually listening to it on audio at the moment, audio book on YouTube, which there's loads of great books on audio on YouTube. They're all free as well. Like, I'm going to pay for them. I prefer listening than reading. I have to read 10 pages a day for this challenge, but outside of that, I can listen because you can do other things whilst listening. Whereas with reading, you've got to sit down and do the reading, But well, have you got a good book that you're reading at the moment, or one you read recently? Good recommendation?
I am reading How to Scale Businesses, Blip Scaling. There's a lot of I've read. I don't know if you've read Peter Jones's book, Tycoon.
I haven't read that one.
Books. I've read quite a lot of Richard Branson's books. read books on Elon Musk. There's a lot of other books that I love reading. And it is when you read books written by these specialists, people who've actually grown businesses, billion-dollar businesses or multi-billion-dollar businesses. These are very, very good books, and I think everybody should read them.
Yeah.
Rather than sci-fi or fiction, or which you achieve nothing by after reading it. It's like watching a movie and you achieve nothing. I like to spend my time very wisely.
That's like me. I used to play a lot of games when I was a kid, but I haven't touched. I don't play games as an adult. I'm like, well, the game I'm playing is like how to build 1 million followers on Twitter. How to get a million downloads on my podcast. I'm interested in games, which then benefit at the end of it.
Exactly. So it's actually quite nice changing your life, because this time you realize, actually, my time is so valuable. Why should I waste it? You've got an hour and 60 minutes. When you lose those 60 minutes, you're not never going to get them back. No. So very wisely.
Yeah, exactly. And the best person or the best project you'll ever work on is you.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. The only one constant generally in your entire life.
Well, there you go.
And I'm big into the personal development space. Obviously, we met through Intrabiz, and Intrabiz have had some amazing speakers on, since they pivoted, which is they've been doing online events since the beginning of the lockdown, rather than doing their real world events. And since the beginning of the lockdown, they've had like Sharon Lecter, Brian Tracy, Bob Berg. They've had who else? Jared Robbins. Loads of top people. They got Dr. John DeMartini coming up next week. Tomorrow night they got Tom Ziegler, son of Zig Ziglar. So, because of the lockdown, they can get these people just to turn up and do an hour on their online events, whereas normally they'd have to pay a fortune to get them to come over and attend an event.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Brian Tracy.
Yeah, that's his book's the next one, The Psychology of Selling, or Psychology of the Sale, I think it's called.
Yeah, he's very good.
I've stuck that one in my favourites on YouTube, ready to listen to the audiobook next once I finish the one I'm on now. So yeah, Brian Tracy's a legend. I've listened to him twice during lockdown. But it'd be nice to see you. You should come on. You come on to an Intrabiz event. They're free. The masterclass speakers are 8 till 10 on a Wednesday, and they do just a networking, members event 9 till 11 on a Friday. So it'd be nice for you to come on, and you've met quite a lot of the Intrabiz people either at Necker Island. You went to Necker Island, didn't you? Yeah. And obviously at the rugby last year, you come down and spent the day with quite a few guys. Most of the people that were on that event are on the events on the Wednesday and the Friday. So you should come on one day.
I think I might be. I'm speaking to Paul, so we might be doing that soon.
Yeah. Oh, good. There we are then. Well, I'll leave you to it because you got got to get home from work. And thanks for coming on the podcast and for sharing a little bit about what you do. Once I've gone through all of my network, which will take me a bit of time because I'm a busy networker, but once I've gone through, I'll probably go back around again and we do a deep dive on a particular subject matter. So if you're up for that at some point in the future, you'll probably get another message off me. But thanks for coming on, and have a great day.
Thanks a lot for having me, Mike. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, brilliant. All right then.
Take care. Bye.
Now, other than have a great day, I know I will. And thanks very much for listening.